Something big is brewing with the New York Knicks as there has been a ton of trade discussions surrounding one of the best players in the NBA, and with a lot of Knicks fans wanting one of their star players to be traded and reports that the Knicks should go in a different direction. This is absolutely heating up right now, and we are going to break the whole situation down regarding these trade talks, regarding the Knicks being one of the favorite landing spots for this star in Anthony Davis, and we are going to waste no time jumping right into the video, guys. But real quick, if you are a part of that 55% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single New York Knicks update. We have videos coming out every single day covering the New York Knicks, and we'll give you every single update on the team. But with all that being said, let's jump into the video. There is a lot to go over on the Knicks today, guys, because look, here's the thing. We know Leon Rose is very, very open to making trades and will trade away anyone if it means the Knicks are going to be a better team. When Leon Rose released a statement after firing head coach Tom Thibodeau from last year, or a couple months ago back in June when the Knicks fired Tibbs, he made it clear that the Knicks' only focus is winning an NBA championship, specifically in 2026. That is what they are focused on, and they will do whatever it takes, even if that is trading away one of their star players in Karl-Anthony Towns, who fans are not thrilled with right now after his somewhat lackluster start to this season, and it feels like he has not fully figured out how to adapt to Mike Brown's offense as of right now. With all that in mind, there has been a ton of discussion surrounding Anthony Davis being traded off the Dallas Mavericks as the Mavericks look to reset their team after Nico Harrison got fired, as he should have for, trading Luka away. But on top of that, also, with the Mavericks just not working out right now, Davis being one of the NBA's best players and still having a lot of value, it does make sense that teams are going to start swirling around AD because they see a chance to get one of the best players in basketball, one of the best defenders in the NBA, and someone who is a proven champion before. So with all that in mind, it's not surprising to see this go down, and the Knicks have quickly been named as one of the favorites for AD. And Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus proposed a massive blockbuster deal regarding the Knicks and Anthony Davis. The trade involves trading the Knicks trading Karl-Anthony Towns, Gershon Yabusele, Tyler Kolek, Pacome Dadier, Ariel Hukporti, and also just helping the Mavericks get some money off by moving Dwight Powell to the Brooklyn Nets at the same time, by the Knicks giving a 2027 second-round pick to Brooklyn for their troubles, while the Knicks acquire Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, Brandon Williams, Dante Exum. They get the rights to Vanja Morakovic, who was picked 60th overall in 2019 by the Brooklyn Nets. It's important to note the Knicks absolutely love having draft and stash players on their roster. It's something that Leon Rose just likes to have. And on top of that, creating trade exceptions for Pacome Dadier and Tyler Kolek, where the Knicks do get an NBA superstar in Anthony Davis, who has had a lot of interest in New York before, even when the Knicks were bad. The Knicks are one of the teams that Anthony Davis was looking at as a possibility outside of the Lakers because of their cap space, because of the situation where they really could have turned around and gotten a lot of talent onto the team very quickly in 2019. Obviously, we know how that worked out. And now AD once again being a trade target. The Knicks do have a chance to pull this off. Now, Pincus discusses, first of all, I absolutely love this deal for the Knicks. It would make them a so much better team. It would be an absolute robbery for them to do this. Now, Eric Pincus said in this deal, the trade would need to be made close to the February 5th trade deadline, as New York must return the standard roster minimum of 14 players via a prorated minimum player. The Mavericks aggregate Anthony Davis, Hardy, Williams, and Dante Exum for Karl-Anthony Towns, Yabusele, Tyler Kolek, and Pacome Dadier, creating a trade exception for Powell. The Knicks also aggregate Towns, Yabu, and Hukporti for Davis and Hardy while generating trade exceptions for Dadier and Kolek. New York acquires Williams and Exum via the minimum exception through Exum's rights to drop to non-Bird after this season via the one-year Bird rule that he gave prior consent to on a deal. Now, at the same time, when the Knicks acquire Anthony Davis in this deal, they get an absolute star. One of the best defenders in the NBA who hasn't really found his rhythm with the Mavericks this season, mainly because the Dallas Mavericks have been awful this season. Davis is putting up 21 points per game and 10 rebounds in 30 minutes of action, shooting 52% from the field and 27% from three while getting 1.5 steals and a block per game. Davis is still that guy at 32 years old, but he's not in an optimal fit for himself right now without an elite point guard on this team or an elite playmaker on the Mavericks, which would help him out a whole lot. lot like how the Knicks do have an elite point guard and playmaker in Jalen Brunson. The Knicks also traded away Karl-Anthony Towns, who in 32.6 minutes per game is putting up the same amount of points as Anthony Davis while grabbing 12.6 rebounds and getting 3 assists per game. The big difference is Cat's ability to shoot, which hasn't shown this year with him only shooting around 33% from 3, but we know that Karl-Anthony Towns is the best shooting big man in NBA history, so it does make some sense here. Now, Eric Pincus talks about this move for the Knicks' sake and saying the Knicks have shown that they're not a conservative team that celebrates past success. The firing of Tom Thibodeau after the franchise's first Eastern Conference Finals appearance this century didn't save his job. Mike Brown built his reputation as a defensive-minded coach who was adapted to modern offensive philosophies. Still, the combination of Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson may be a defensive problem with no solution, which is why Bleacher Report had them on the list of top duos in the NBA that may need to break up. And on the Mavericks side of things, fixing the Mavericks won't happen in one trade. The team needs a healthy lead guard that could be Kyrie Irving, but he's almost 33 years old and still working his way back from a torn ACL. If in 2025-2026 the campaign is a gap year for the Mavs, yielding another high pick with a strong draft class may not work well with Irving's age. Towns, who's almost 30, is younger than Anthony Davis, a 5-time All-Star, and fresh off an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, and also 3 straight Conference Finals appearances when you count the West as well. The age gap suggests that he's not a long-term piece in Dallas, though. However, the Mavs could flip him while also adding a guy on who would be the first option and put up stellar numbers at the time. Meanwhile, Pincus says that Dallas also adds an inexpensive young player, or multiple young players, in Kolek and Dadier, while offloading Hardy's $6 million for the 26-27 season. Dadier played in Germany before the Knicks selected him 24th overall in 2024, and Kolek, out of Marquette, was one of the best point guards in the same draft class. While with winning secondary in the short term, Coach Jason Kidd could give both players extended minutes, along with some of the team's younger talent like Derek Lively and Max Christie, with the Mavericks taking a full 180. As I said, I love this trade for the Knicks. I absolutely love it. To me, this is an absolutely perfect deal. We look at the Dallas Mavericks right now, and nobody's really standing out on them outside of Anthony Davis. Cooper Flagg has struggled to be efficient, though the raw numbers look good, and he'll definitely get there. Max Christie is really starting to break out, which is good to see for him. But on top of that, the Knicks would also be acquiring some of their players. I mean, Dante Exum has yet to appear for the Mavericks so far, but Jaden Hardy has put up some decent numbers as well, putting up around 5 points per game and shooting not poorly, to say the least. I mean, he's not shocking the world by any means, but at the end of the day, the numbers are not bad for Dallas overall. If we look a little closer at this, we do see that there is definitely some talent here that the Knicks would be acquiring outside of Anthony Davis for sure, which is helpful. I mean, Hardy shooting 40% from the field, but also 40% from 3. He does have a role with the Knicks, especially giving them another wing to use, especially when trading away a wing, and Pacome Dadier as well. And Hardy is more NBA ready than Dadier, so that will definitely be helpful as well. The Knicks also add Brandon Williams, who's averaging 10.5 points per game this year. He can't hit a 3, only shooting 18% right now from behind the arc, but he's getting nearly 2 steals a game. Gives the Knicks another defender who can be a combo guard for them as well. So the Knicks do get a lot of good with this trade. The trade makes total sense for the Knicks. Does it make sense for the Mavericks? That's a little less so. But the Mavericks have discussed blowing up the roster as a whole already. As Chris Mannix mentioned, as for what's next, I'm told that Mark Cuban, the Mavs minority owner, who was exiled from basketball operations by Nico Harrison, is back at the table. I'm also told that radical roster changes have already been discussed by Dallas's new brain trust. Big changes could be coming to Big D. Interesting way to put that. I've never heard Dallas get called that before. And as I mentioned myself on Twitter, the Bleacher Report trade does make the Knicks 3 times better. The new Knicks depth chart is insane, with the guard room being Brunson, Deuce McBride, Dante Exum, while on your wings you have Mikal Bridges, Landry Shamet, Brandon Williams. Your forward situation is still solid, though you do lose a little bit of depth. You do have OG Anunoby and Jaden Hardy there while Josh Hart's around, Anthony Davis is around, and Tosin Awoma's there. While the center situation does get thinner, it would mainly be Mitchell Robinson and Anthony Davis at center. AD would play center while Mitch is out. And the Knicks would also likely consider signing Trey Jemison off that 2-way contract in the process. Or the Knicks could use another center for depth and sign Moses Brown as well, who also becomes an option for the Knicks in this situation if the Knicks do want to try to bring back Moses Brown and all this. I know there's a lot of Knicks fans out there, myself included, who are big fans of Moses Brown's game, which is one of the reasons why I mentioned him here in this post. But to me, this unit looks very good. This looks like a championship team. The defense improves drastically while your only negative defender is Jalen Brunson. And the other 4 defenders in this starting lineup are absolutely ruthless on defense. It gives the Knicks excellent defensive identity while AD can help run the rim and also create a lot of shots in the mid-range for the Knicks while being an excellent playmaking big. Can slide down to the center when the Knicks want to use a little more shooting. And they could throw Landry Shamet or Deuce McBride in that starting lineup. Continue to have excellent defense there while Mitchell Robinson gets a break. Again, the Knicks would need another center down the line. That is the position they would definitely look at for another piece. But you know that that's what they're going to look for. So they're already there. They find another center to add. They still have depth with AD and Mitch. Obviously, the fear is AD's health and Mitch's health. If both of them go down, the Knicks are effectively screwed because they don't have another big man. Karl-Anthony Towns, though, has dealt with injuries as well. The main thing is Cat has been playing through a lot of his injuries, as none of his injuries have really been something that will keep him out of the game. Cat's a lot more durable and reliable in that sense, but Anthony Davis is better than him, and it does make a lot of sense. I would do this trade if I'm the Knicks. I don't see a reason to say no. I know it's a risk, but you got to take risks to win the NBA Finals. This makes the Knicks better when they're healthy. I would trust it. I would go ahead and make this deal. But guys, I want to know what you would do in this situation. Are you accepting this deal? Are you declining this deal? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a wonderful day, guys. Let's win tonight. Go Knicks. I don't care that Jalen Brunson's not playing against the Heat. The Knicks are winning anyway.